What is up, y'all? It is your boy Winston Wolf. I'm back. I just want to do a quick review. Aquaman 2 and The Lost Kingdom. Happened to watch it last night. I haven't been doing reviews for a while for the two people that care, just because there hasn't been anything, worth me taking the time out of my busy week to even watch. And then by the time I do get around to watching it, it's like literally 6 months later. So there's no point in doing it. Just like there's no point in doing this. But like I said, there's two people that care. So for you two people, thank you. So they start this movie off with Born to Be Wild, the song Born to Be Wild, which if you're under 70, you do not care about this song. That and Bad to the Bone. I don't know why. My whole life, companies, advertisers, everything, they've been using these two lame garbage songs over and over and over again. Have you ever heard anybody say, I love that song Born to Be Wild. I love Bad to the Bone. You know what? I'm going to buy that on iTunes. Never. You've never heard it. And that should just give you a little insight of just how, the thinking of why so much of this stuff turns out to be just straight up trash. When you start a movie off like that and you're sitting there thinking like, you know what'll get them going? Born to Be Wild. Because this isn't the old corny Aquaman. This isn't the old dorky Aquaman. This is the new wild Jason Momoa. So we play this, and it'll get him nice and fired up for the... No. So as soon as I heard that, I was like, man. But I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, I didn't think the movie was that bad. And that's where people need to stop, this thing where if the movie isn't a certified classic, it's just trash. That's what we've turned into. That's what a lot of these YouTube movie reviewers and just... these talking heads on YouTube, it's like if it isn't an absolute classic, it's just mediocre trash. And it's because we live in this age now where everything is just, disposable. Because there's so many other things, for your attention. There's your phone, video games, other movies, streaming services, whatever, all this other stuff. Back in the day, when you didn't have that many options, and you watch something, I guess you would look for, even if it wasn't the greatest thing, you'd still look for the good things in it. And, it's almost like your brain knew what the future was going to hold. It was like, okay, this movie isn't the best, but just look for, the good things in it. That's kind of how I was watching this. It was strange. I wasn't like, this is a good movie. I wasn't like, I'm going to buy the Blu-ray. But I sat there and watched it. And I was like, this is good. This isn't good. But so they started the movie off with Born to Be Wild. So that's not a good start. Let's see. Okay. So I'm not gonna even go through the story. I'm not gonna break down. If you don't know anything about my channel, which you probably don't, I'm talking to a person that just randomly stumbled upon this. I'm not gonna get into trivia and all these other things, or all these channels that do it way, way better and actually use editing and stuff. I'm that friend that you have and you say, what'd you do last night? Oh, I watched this movie. Was it good? And you talk about it for a little bit, and that's it. Your friends don't want to hear you break down how much the budget for the movie is and all that. They don't. They just want to know, because you guys are kind of operating on the same level. Okay, if he thinks it's good and he's going to watch it and we have similar tastes, pause, I might check this out. So that's how I approach these things. So I'm not going to get into breaking the movie down and all that. Sorry. It's on bootleg sites and it's on Max. Check it out if you want to see it that bad. But one of the things that really bothered me is the actor that plays Boba Fett, Timur Morrison, Timu Morrison. I don't know, but he's just terrible, and his just horribly done veneers. That those teeth, those horse teeth, almost single-handedly derailed the Boba Fett show. Straight up. Because even if that show was well written and everything, I could not take my attention off his big ass horse teeth. He's just terrible. He's chubby. I don't get it. They cast this dude primarily in action movies. Yes, maybe he's not the focus of the action. Maybe he's not the star, but you're in an action movie. You're being paid to look your best. Stop it. Stop it with this dude. He's just terrible. He's terrible. I wish they would just retcon the whole Boba Fett thing, so I don't have to see him anymore in that, because he sucks. Dolph Lundgren, whatever. That dude, did he have a stroke? What's going on with his walk? With the way he talks? This dude, I remember a long time ago somebody talking about Andre the Giant, and they were saying it seems like the older he gets, the more he forgets how to speak English or even speak at all. That's how this dude is rolling right now. I know he used to do kickboxing and stuff. He sounds like he has a mean case of that CTE, straight up. Like that dude, you can't tell me. Like again, this goes back to the Born and Be Wild thing. Whoever's making these decisions is like, oh, these are fanboys. So with Dolph Lundgren from Universal Soldier, Rocky, all this other stuff, they're gonna be so hyped to see him. No, we don't. We don't care about Dolph like that, my guy. We don't. Maybe if you would have did a good Punisher movie, but no. They clearly should have got somebody else for that role because it wasn't a big role. It wasn't a meaningful role. They could have recast it and nobody would have even remembered that Dolph was in that role from the first movie. They wouldn't have. He's just terrible in this. Terrible. And I think he's trying. It's not like he's just phoning it in. He's trying. He just doesn't have it. He's just not a good actor. He can't even deliver his lines serviceably. Nicole Kidman. What happened? I know she's probably like 60 years old, whatever. But I just saw that Paddington, I think it was Paddington 1 not too long ago. That movie isn't that old. It's not even 10 years old. She was looking highly bangable. Highly bangable. I'm talking about no pull-out bangable. In Paddington, what happened? See, this is where we need CGI. This is where CGI and AI can be used properly, right? Some things I think is dangerous. I don't think it's a good thing to have too much of it in movies and CGI and all that. But this is where you have to keep the illusion of single heterosexual men, fantasizing about childhood crushes and stuff. It's not like I had a childhood crush on her, but man, I have a fetish for red-haired chicks, right? And she's tall. Stop it. So growing up, every time I saw Nicole, I was like, all right, Tom. All right. She looks like, I don't know, your mom's friend that got busted for shoplifting juicy fruit or something. She just not, I don't like it. I don't care if you would have had to use AI to sex her up a little bit. That would have been perfectly okay with me. I have to keep these illusions for my own sanity. Like, I know girls poop. I know they poop. But I don't want to believe that. I don't want to believe that this girl that I work with, that I'm sitting there checking out when she bends over, being a complete creep, I don't want to believe that in 10 minutes she's going to go blow the bathroom up, okay? I don't want to believe it. I don't want to believe that girls take dumps, okay? Speaking of that, Amber Heard took a dump in Johnny Depp's bed. And guess what? That would be the only reality check that I could deal with as far as girls pooping. Amber Heard, you can take a dump in my bed anytime you want to. Diarrhea poop, constipated, super hard softball size poop, a skid mark, any of that. I don't care. You can come sleep in my bed. You can do whatever you want. Leave pubic hairs all over. I don't care. Do not care. Amber Heard is so fine. And these idiots are sitting there like, the movie's going to flop because of Amber. I don't care what she did to Johnny Depp. He got to dip in that at will. You think I feel sorry for him? He's tasted glory, okay? I want to taste it. All right? I can hang up those little pine tree air fresheners all over my room. Problem solved. All right? Amber Heard looking fine, especially with that red hair. Fine. The CGI, this is, just like beating a dead horse. Way too much CGI, especially if you come from the era where you grow up with the RoboCops and the Terminators and the aliens and lots of practical effects and very, very, very few CGI effects only for... Usually the CGI effects were used for when something was set in the future and they were looking at like, a hologram type thing or something like that. And then that was it. Everything else, they figured it out. That's why I want a company like A24 or Blumhouse. I want one of these companies like that to start producing movies to where that's a rule. Like, You can only do CGI on very few things. We want you to figure it out. Imagine you're in 86 and we want an Aquaman 2 movie and we're giving you this much money. How would you do it? How would you do it? You know? That's what I want to see, because the CGI in here, some of it was really, really, really good. Like there's a part where the Atlantean army, whatever, is trying to blow an island up. And it just looked good. It wasn't anything spectacular, but the fact that we've seen so much bad CGI lately, that stood out to me. I was like, oh, this looks real, you know? And that's sad because things are supposed to be real. That's the whole big deal about CGIs. We can make it photorealistic. You guys ain't been doing it. You got people with a whatever app that are doing it better than you, free on their phone, free on their iPhone 4. So, but the CGI was getting completely ridiculous in this. The amount of it, how obvious it was. I mean, of course you're not, you know, if you're a normal thinking human being, you're not going to look at, you know, this giant seahorse that has a horse saddle on it and be like, is that real? Is that, you know, it's CGI. But there's a way to make it look real. And they didn't with a lot of this. It had that glossy, weird, polished look to it. So, you know, just way too much CGI. And straight up, if you can't do a movie, if you write the script, you're like, we're going to have to do a ridiculous amount of CGI for this. And, you know, we don't have enough time to do it. Get someone in to doctor the script. Change the setting. Change it to where it's doable. Stop doing this stuff and be like, well, CGI artists, you got 6 months. Figure it out. No. Start, because all that's doing is hurting you. They're still going to get paid. They're still going to do what they have to do. You know what I'm saying? It's going to fall back on who's ever making those decisions. You know, making these impossible tasks for these people. It's just bringing the quality down. So, another thing, Aquaman and the super hot Amber Heard, they have a kid in this movie. And at some point, the kid gets kidnapped. And I am so tired of villains just dusting everyone in sight in a room without even asking questions. But then when there's a kid or like one of the hero characters, for some reason they don't kill them and take them. Now granted, with this movie, they needed the kid's blood to awaken some demon, yada, 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 or whatever like that. So they couldn't kill him. I mean, unless they killed him and they just like slit his throat, put the baby's slit throat, you know, over a bucket, put the blood in it, took off with the blood, whatever. But they kept him alive because they had to take him to this place, give him, you know, sacrifice, whatever with the blood. But I'm just tired of these movies where, like, once you see, like, a baby or, like, a woman or something, you know miraculously they're going to get rescued. No, I want a villain to just straight up snap Aquaman's 3-month-old baby's neck right in front of him. You want to make a bad guy? That'll definitely do it right there. Kill a dog in a movie? Bad guy. We should also have snapping a 3-month-old baby's neck. Be right up there with killing a dog. Let's do it. Let's do it. The ending was terrible. Again, this was a movie where it wasn't a certified classic. I sat through the whole thing. I sat plenty of movies I've got up and walked out of or shut off or did something else. Like Dragon Wars, I challenge you to sit through that. I challenge you with the sound up. With the sound up. But, you know, so this movie wasn't a complete train wreck, but in the end, man, I've sat through many a movie in the movie theaters, and when the screen turns black, you hear everybody getting up, but you also hear the collective groan, pause, of everybody in the movie theater, like, oh, God, I can't believe I wasted $60 on 2 tickets or some pop, Jesus. You know, or just people looking at each other because it's so corny the way they ended, just shaking their head. You know what I'm saying? That's how they ended this movie. Just go up on YouTube and watch Aquaman 2's ending. And Jason Momoa, that's where he's a big enough star, and I think he knows enough to be like, this is... You talking about we're doing this right before the screen turns black? It's like this, then done. I've been like, no. You got to bring a script doctor in here and redo this, because I ain't doing this. Hell no. But... Aquaman 2, 0 to 10 dog bones. I'm gonna be fair about this, because like I said, I sat through it, and all these people talking about all these terrible movies. Oh, this movie was terrible, but then they'll tell you about the whole movie. You liked it. You're just trying to make a video where it sounds like, you know what I'm saying. You want to blow it out the pause. You know, you want to talk bad about it because that's what your content is all based on. And I do a lot of negative content, but I always say I want to watch something that I like. I would love to watch something that I could just talk for days about because of how great it is. I don't want to sit and waste 2 hours on something I hate. I just don't want to do it. But Aquaman 0 to 10 dog bones. Did I even finish my last point? Whatever I was talking about. Anyways, uh, 0 to 10 dog bones. I'll give it a 5. I'll give it a 5. It's not bad. It's not good. It has moments. It has stuff visually that's okay to look at. Just, and also knowing that that's the end of the whole Snyderverse and everything. You kind of wanted to see, like, okay, what's the parting shot gonna be? Pause. 5 dog bones. Aquaman 2 in the Lost Kingdom. I guess if you get mono, or you break your leg or something and you're trapped indoors, you have nothing